Good morning. How's everyone doing? Such a weird question to ask anymore, isn't it? You're stressed for graduation, and Linda has 4 meetings tomorrow. Are you stressed because you're graduating, or are you stressed because you have a lot of exams? You have lots of pressure because of your meetings, Linda. You're graduating and the teachers are stressing you, or the teacher is stressing you. Well, that's kind of their job. Yeah, like every good teacher I have had has stressed me out. It's kind of part of the job. Not as good as me. Ooh, well, don't say that. Come on, you don't know that. You don't know that. Okay, so once again, if you are not sure what to do, you are supposed to ask me questions. That's what we do here. Pretend I am AI. Teacher Mark AI. Let's see. Do I want to invite some people up on stage? If they have questions, then yes, that's fine. Someone told me you're a component. Are you sure they said component? Did they say competent? Maybe they said you are competent, which means that you're pretty good at what you're doing. You're capable of doing it. And Flavia wants to know about the schwa sound. I hate that sound. So the schwa is I think I wrote an article about this. Did I write an article? I think I did. I have to go look. So the schwa is basically the sound like and it has there are many many ways to write it in English or many ways to spell it, I should say. So it's confusing to many people. It's confusing in my opinion because we talk about it too much. I never learned about the schwa when I was in school. No one ever talked about the schwa. When you're a native, they don't teach you that. Nope. They don't teach you that. They just skip over that completely. They teach you the phonics. What difference does it make what it's called? That's the point. It does not make any difference what you call it. What makes a difference is, can you say it? Can you make the sound? That's the only thing that makes a difference. So, there are some times when it's better to do the action than to try to talk about the action. So don't talk about the schwa. Just do it. Just practice the words that have it and listen to the way it's supposed to sound. That's all. All right? Okay, and Linda, did you want to come on stage? Linda, I answer any questions if it's appropriate, right? So as long as it's appropriate, then I'll try to answer. So most people ask me things about English or about learning, but many people ask me things about culture or about history or about philosophy or about linguistics. There are a lot of things that people ask me about. So you can try to ask and I'll see if I can answer. Okay? What's my opinion about the Jim Carrey situation? I don't know. He looks different, but Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey. He's the guy who looks different all the time. So I think that a lot of people are probably making a lot of nothing. It's probably nothing. You know what happens sometimes when every day becomes part of your life. And see, the more days that happen, then you become older. And when you become older, you look different. So guess what? The picture back there in the wall, that guy right there, that's me. But do I look like me now? Do I look like that now? Is that me now? No, it doesn't look anything like me. I was 20 years old now. I'm 50 years old now. People change. People change. I know the picture's not clear. I know, but it's believe me, it's I don't think I have an extra one. Do I have an extra one? Well, here. You see this guy here in the white? That's me. It's a long time ago. People change. People change. I'm fat and old now. It happens. It happens. I love how everybody's saying, you looked so good. Past tense, everybody. I love the past tense. Thank you so much. Makes me feel great. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, everybody. I'm just kidding. But Jim Carrey looks different. Sure, he looks different. Could be a million things, but probably it's just that he's getting old. Okay, so next, Pei Yunsh wants to talk to me. So, Pei Yunsh, you have to be patient. I wasn't ready yet. Hello, Pei
Hello,
Yunsh.
teacher.
How are you?
Wait. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. How are you?
I'm fine too. And you are in India. What city are you in?
I hail from Chandigarh.
Ah, okay. And what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
Well, I want to be good at phonetics, but I don't know how to understand that.
You want to be good at phonetics, but you don't know how to understand that. Well, do you want to be good at phonetics or do you want to be good at phonics? They're two different things.
Phonetics.
Okay, so why do you want to be good at phonetics?
I think if I know about phonetics, then I can improve my pronunciation.
Okay, so then let me ask you a question. Why do most Americans not know phonetics?
I got no idea. I'm sorry to
Because
say.
because we don't learn phonetics, we learn phonics.
Oh, I see.
Phonics is the difference. So phonetics is the symbols that you write to represent sounds, right?
All right.
But those are general symbols, not the letters, like just general symbols of sound, right? They can be used for any language. But phonics is just practicing the sounds of this language, okay? Payunsh, I'm gonna mute your microphone for just a minute while I'm talking because there's a loud background noise that's coming. It's not you. There we go. Thank you so much. That'll help. It'll just make it easier for everybody else to hear. So, so phonics is pronouncing all of the sounds of the letters, right? The vowels and the consonants, and learning the proper way to make each of those sounds. And honestly, that's all you need to do. It's all anyone needs to do. It is still the most effective way to learn, and there are many studies that show that. When you add phonetics to it, you're adding an extra step. Like, so if you're just learning from the sound is going straight to your mind and then to your mouth. But if you're adding phonetics, now it's first you have the sound, then you have a symbol, then the symbol goes to your eyes, then the eyes go to your brain, the brain goes to your mouth. That's a lot more processing, right? So it's a lot easier if you just listen and repeat, right? Listen and repeat. And then this is important, Payunsh, is that you need to understand that every language has mouth movements, right? So if you have an accent in one language, it's because you're speaking English, but you're using the mouth movements from your language. So that means that you're going to sound different. So that every language, you have to learn the vocabulary and the grammar and all of the pronunciation, but you also need to understand the mouth movements to make the pronunciation. Okay? And if you're
Sorry to
moving,
stop you.
yeah,
Sorry to stop you.
that's okay.
Sorry to interrupt. So I want to ask you, could you just give me please specimen of phonics?
Sure. Yeah.
Just
So, for example, to focus on the vowel sounds, right? That's one of the most important things in American English is the vowels. The vowels are what make it so different between American and British English, for example. So for example, there are the long vowels and the short vowels. The long vowels are A, E, I, O, U. And the short vowels are A, E, I, O, And if you look, each one of those has a different mouth position, right? So watch. A, E, I, O, U, right? A, E, I, O, U. And you see how big my mouth is? That's why I am clear when I speak, because that's called diction. It's called enunciation. So I am over
A
pronouncing.
A
Okay.
E I O U.
Yeah, now that's not
You.
bad, but the problem is, Peyunsh, is you speak Hindi, right?
Exactly, I do, sir.
Okay, so Hindi is what I call a small mouth language. Most of Hindi happens with a small mouth. And so this is a problem for Indians and for Chinese people. Chinese is also a small mouth language. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to do it again, but I want you to exaggerate more. Your mouth is not big enough yet. So let's try it again. Here, let me unmute you again, and watch me one more time. A, E, I, O, U. And I want each one to be separated. This is another problem. Some people, they push them together like A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. No. Separate them. A, E, I, O, U.
A E I O U.
That already sounds a lot better. Okay, I think you could go
Thank
bigger. I think you could go bigger, though. Right? So I want you to think about it. If it feels uncomfortable, then you're doing it right. Because the mouth movements should feel like, oh wow, that's different. That's not like my language. So it should feel awkward. Okay, it should feel a little uncomfortable. All right. So now let's try the short vowels. The short vowels, these are important because the first three are, most people have a problem with the first three of the short vowels because they don't make their mouths open enough, and so what happens is all three sounds are the same, right? So what happens is many people, they'll say ah eh ah eh, but that is all the same mouth. But watch me, ah eh ah eh ah eh. You see? Big, medium, small. Ah, like you're eating an apple. Like you're saying the word egg.
Can I try?
Yes, go ahead.
Can ah.
Almost.
Ah.
Ah. Just the first one. Ah, like you're at the dentist. I want you to pretend you're at the doctor or you're at the dentist, and the doctor. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, but you're. Okay, now the only problem is your sound is too much of an not ah. You hear the difference?
All right.
So I want you to think about the sound and think about it like singing, right? This is like singing, learning how to sing. You have to listen to the sound and try to recreate it, right? So I want you to try to make it again and think, apple.
Apple.
That's better, but I still hear apple. You're saying apple. I want apple.
Apple.
You did it. That was it. That was it. That was the sound. That's the short A.
Apple.
Good.
Apple.
That's better.
Apple.
Now make it really big. Apple.
You meant to say my mouth should open wide
Yes.
like this.
Yes.
Oh, all
That's the reason why people come to me and they say, "Why can I understand you?" Because my mouth is moving. It's clear because I'm trying to be clear. I'm exaggerating every sound to be very clear. So I want you to do the same when you're practicing. Over exaggerate the sound, and then it will be more clear. Okay?
Apple.
Yeah.
Air.
Yeah.
Air.
Yeah, you got it. That's good. That's air.
Not air. Air.
Air. That's right. Yeah, you breathe air. Yeah.
Aeroplane.
Airplane. That's
Airplane.
correct. That's it. You've got it. You got it. Okay.
Airy. Airy. Airy.
Which
Related to air. Related to air.
airy. Yes,
Air.
airy. Airy.
Um. What else can I say?
With a short a words.
Asian.
They're
Asian.
yeah, Asian.
Asian.
That's a long a. Asian, right? But you can
Asian.
try let's see. Let's try let me show you some try cat. Cat.
Cat.
Yeah, that's a
Cat.
short a. It's in the middle, right? So now what you need to do is find a list of words that have short a in the beginning, short a in the middle, and even short a on the end. Okay?
First in the
Yes.
cat.
So
Rat.
yes, that's in the middle.
Fat.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, those are in the middle. That's right. Good. Yeah. And then make sure
Oh,
you
wait.
exaggerate, right?
All right. Next, in the middle. In the middle.
That's
That.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, like the word dad, dad, dad.
That.
Yeah,
Dad.
that's a short a. Okay.
If I say that. That.
That. Yeah, that.
I know that. I know that.
Yes.
I know that.
Yes,
Right.
good. And then your
Next.
th is another one that many people need to work on a little bit because it's a difficult thing to do, the th sound.
The at.
Okay,
The
good.
at.
But here's the thing I want you to do. I want you to make the sound longer. Okay? So there are two ths. Let me show you. Let me show you what they are. There are two different th sounds, okay? There's the voiced th and the unvoiced th, right? So the unvoiced th is the one when we say the word thank you. Thank you. There's this, it's just like blowing air, right? Like if I blow into the microphone, you'll hear how much air. Thank you. Thank you, right? There's a lot of air blowing there, right? When you say that word, thank you, that's just a lot of air, right? But then there's the other th sound. That's the one that's called the voiced th, and that's the word for the word this, that, these, those. Oh, Peyonch, maybe he lost his time limit. So yeah, the point is he was saying that, this, those. Too short. You have to stretch the sound. You have to stretch the sound. All right? Brian No Brain. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He was doing the same thing. His TH was more like a D, like dat, instead of that. So I want you to practice taking that TH sound and pulling it to be really long, like I just did. That. All right. This. All right. It might hurt if you're doing it. Then you have to. It's a different feeling. A different sound is going to make it different. That might be a little bit weird feeling. Okay. So, the TH. Watch me. There are two different ways to do the TH, right? We said the voiced and the unvoiced, but the position of the mouth is pretty much the same. Okay, watch. Like your tongue is right between your teeth. Look, I'm not sticking it out like no, not that. Just a tiny little bit, the tip of your tongue. Okay, and actually, when I do it, I even exaggerate it even more. I curl my tongue to be almost like a tube, right? Watch this. Like I do it even stronger by making it curl, right? So, but for you, don't do that. I just want you to put your tongue between your teeth just a little bit. And I'm not biting down. It's just my teeth are just sitting on top of my tongue. That's it. Okay? And then you can take a tissue. like this. Okay? And you can practice the two sounds. The voiced sound does not have a lot of air. The voiced sound does not have a lot of air. So watch. If I say the word this, that, it doesn't move very much, right? But if I say the word thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, there's a lot of air, right? So those are two things to think about. Okay, let me go back and make sure I didn't miss any comments and questions. All right. Again, please be patient. Let's see. Do I think distance learning is effective for school students? Do I think it's effective? It's effective. Is it as good as having a teacher there? No, but it could be. It just depends. Look, if you have a great teacher who's online, then great. But if you have a terrible teacher in the room, that's not better. You understand? Right? So a great teacher is a great teacher, online or in person. But if I have to choose which is better for an environment, then yes, in person it's better for everybody. Okay? All right, next question. How to memorize a large number of words for the teacher's exam. I don't know about the teacher's exam, and I don't encourage anybody to. Leo, you're not going to like this answer, Leo. But Leo, if you are trying to memorize words, then you shouldn't be teaching. I'm sorry. Learning a language is not about memorizing the words. It's about knowing the words. That's a very different thing. Memorizing is a technique of learning that is used just for you to pass a test. It is not a technique for remembering forever. So, if you want to remember forever, then you need to know another technique. Okay? Now, I have an article that you can read that will help you. Go read this article about vocabulary. Okay? All right, please be patient. I'm trying to answer all the questions. Why do people use slang words nowadays? People have always used slang words, Abi. Every time period has different slang words. So when I was a boy, there were many words that we said that were slang that we don't say anymore, but we did then. Okay? So slang is temporary language that is used usually by younger people as a way of creating a group, right? So language can be used to tell people, are you in my group or not? Right? So if I walk up to you and I say, oh, hello, sir, or hello, ma'am, that's one kind of greeting. If I walk up to you and I say, hey, what's up, dude? That's another kind of greeting. So they're looking to see, what kind of greeting do you give? Do you belong in my group or not? If they are expecting you to say, what's up, dude? And you come in and say, oh, hello, nice to meet you, then they know, oh, he doesn't belong. But if you come in and you sound like them, then they think, oh, well, maybe they belong. So language is a way, it's like a key. It's like a key that gets you into a club. Okay? And yes, David says you can learn the IPA. You can watch videos about the IPA, and some people do. I just don't recommend it for everybody. I only recommend the IPA for two people, two kinds of people. One, if you are learning more than one language, I'll say three people. If you're into linguistics, fine. Or if you're learning many languages, fine. Or if you just happen to have a very detailed mind, if you are the kind of person that really likes that extremely detailed way of doing things, then maybe the IPA is good for you. Okay? Hello, Carlos. Hello, Belen. So Tamidul Islam Shorab, you're weak in English. How to improve your speaking? Why are you weak? I don't know what that means. You said I'm weak. I don't know what that means, man. Right? So listen, if you go to the doctor and the doctor needs to help you, you need to tell the doctor what's wrong. If you just go to the doctor and you go in there and you say, I'm sick, they can't help you. You have to be able to tell them, how are you sick? What is wrong? What are you feeling? But if you just say, I'm sick. So that's what you're doing. When you come to me, I'm the doctor, and you say, my English is bad. I can't help you. Where am I from? I'm from the United States, from Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay. How to say hello between girls? We just say hey. That's it. I think I know what you mean, Michelle. Like, we have the word guys, right? And what's up, dude, right? But you could say there is a female version of the word dude. You can say dudette. Dudette is the female version of dude. It means a female dude. It means a cool chick, a cool girl. Okay? Can I explain the pronunciation of uprise and uprise? Yeah, sure. You're right. Those are tricky. The first word, apprise, to apprise something. I want you to think it's more about where to put the accent, right? So to apprise, it's like I'm saying a prize, A-P-R-I-Z-E, right? I have a prize for you. I have a prize for you, okay? So to apprise something. But the other word is an uprise. Those are actually two words put together, up and rise. So it is an uprise, not an apprise. Understand? Okay. You've got an interview with real estate even though you don't know anything about houses, but my phone interview's been successful. Well, Belen, selling houses is mostly about making people feel comfortable in that house. And you're good at making people feel comfortable. You made me feel very comfortable when I was there. So, just make people feel comfortable. You're good at that. Okay? All right. Do I have a YouTube channel? Yes, I do. It's right here. And I also have a website. It's right there. And I also have a blog. It's right here. Is Duolingo useful? Yeah, sure. It's useful. Ruslan, is a hammer useful? Sure, it's useful. But there are some people who know how to use a hammer better than others. So, Ruslan, every tool can be useful, but not everybody takes the time to learn how to use the tool well. All right? HelloTalk is a good example of that. HelloTalk is a wonderful tool with many, many, many things that it can do to help you, but most people don't take the time to learn how to do even just a little bit of it. All right? Oh, okay. Let's see. Did I miss anybody over here? Hello, Miguel. How are you, my friend? So if you have questions, you should ask me. You're weak in English. You can only say 2 sentences at a time and then you freeze. So Brian, I know what I need to ask you, Brian. Brian, how long have you been learning English? 2 weeks. Ah, Brian, what's wrong with you? 2 weeks, man. What is wrong with you? Of course you're having trouble. You've only been doing it for 2 weeks. I knew that was the problem. I knew it. You're acting like you've been studying for 2 years or 20 years. No, Brian, learning takes time. Learning takes time. You cannot learn if you did not have time. Okay? So, stop worrying and just work. And in time, you will feel better. You cannot feel better before you pass that time. You cannot. Okay? No, it's not easy. No language is easy. Every language is difficult, Brian. 2 weeks, man. I have been learning Chinese for more than 10 years, and it's still really hard. Okay? And it's not 1,000 hours, it's 10,000. 10,000 hours is how many hours you're supposed to do to become a master at something. 10,000. All right, now, Zane, did I miss you? What did I miss? Zane, did you have a question? Did I miss your question? Where is it? I don't see a question from you, Zane. Okay. All right. Well, again, okay, here's a question. Do I have any movie recommendations for learning English B1, B2? Everybody wants to watch movies to learn, but watching movies is watching movies, and learning is learning. So, the first thing that you need to understand is if you want to learn English by watching a movie, you cannot treat it like it's just movie night. All right? You can't just be like, oh, let's watch a movie. Ah, I'm learning English. No. Okay, watching a movie is watching a movie, and learning English is learning English. So, what that means is there are some movies that are they're awesome, but they're not good for learning English, right? So maybe, for example, I love movies about space and space travel and aliens and stuff like that. Those are fun movies, but probably the English is not going to be the perfect English for you to learn for your purpose. Okay? But if it's a movie about family and it's a movie about work and life and friends and real things, then probably that's a better movie for watching for your English. Okay, and then if you watch a movie for English, then you have to take some notes. You have to make some notes. You have to do some homework, everybody. Okay, you have to do some homework. All right, so. What I tell everybody is KSC, you have to get the transcript. Okay, you have to get the transcript. All right? And what is a transcript? A transcript is the printout of all of the words online. Okay? It's a printout of all the words online. So if you have the transcript, now you can actually make notes. All right, and now you can study from the transcript. All right, but if you don't have a transcript, then you can't really study. All right, and Brian, it's called a pimple. Have you ever had a pimple before, Brian? Seems there are many things in life that you're not familiar with, Brian, like learning and pimples. You have a lot to learn, Brian. Is this your first day on Earth, Brian? Have you never been on Earth? Where are you from? What planet? Do they not get pimples in Bangladesh? It's not, man. It's not an oddly placed pimple. Pimples happen anywhere. Okay? Wow. Yeah, okay. Well, you know what, Brian? I think I've had enough of you for today. No, I don't think it's different cultures. It really isn't. I have been here for a long time, and there are some times when things are cultural. Yeah, but occasionally it's not cultural. There are just some people who just are not very bright. It's like, really, man? Really? You're going to ask me that? You're going to say that? Really? Is that a smart move? Yeah. Dummy is right. Dummy is right. Yeah. I think Brian has a lot of problems. He's been learning for 2 weeks and I can't do it. I don't know why I can't speak English. I've been trying for 2 weeks, but I can't do it. Yeah, anyway. Okay. All right, so anyway, pimples happen. C'est la vie. I'm not worried about it. I don't know why you are. It's always funny when you turn on a camera, and you're the only one. You can see me, but I can't see you. It's always kind of like I'm inviting people to take shots at me. you know. Yeah, I need to learn to fly a plane in 2 weeks. Right. Yeah. I mean, how arrogant can you be to think that you could learn a language that quickly? It's so weird. Yeah. Anyway. All right. In my opinion, never ask a native speaker how they learn their language. It's the same thing as asking a baby how they learn to speak. Well, for you, you're right, Yusuf. In most cases, you're right. Most people can't explain really how they learned. And most people can't teach what they learned, right? The majority of natives cannot teach what they were taught. They just know it. They just know it. Nobody told them they should learn it to teach anybody. They were told they need to know it for themselves. That's it. All right? That's the way most people are. If I go to China, do you think that every person in China is good at teaching Chinese? No. Is every person in Korea good at teaching Korean? No. Do they all know all the rules? Do they all know all the ways to explain everything? No, of course not. All right? So I do because this is my job. Yeah. All right. Bran, I'm sorry, were you under the impression that the President of the United States calls me and asks me questions about foreign policy? Were you under that impression? And on top of that, do you think that we're all happy about this? We're not. We are not happy. Okay, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it because this is Hello Talk, and we're not allowed to talk about those things here. That's not appropriate. Okay? But I will tell you, we're not happy. All right? Okay. What strategies can help learners understand the subtle differences between synonyms? That is a very difficult question to answer, Ella. It's a good question. It's a very good question, but it is a very hard one to answer because synonyms are something that everybody learns through trial and error. We learn synonyms through trial and error or through listening, right? We'll hear people use a word and then we know, oh, I didn't know I could use that word like that. Okay? So, but there are two ways that we learn the proper words, like which word works and which word doesn't. One is by listening to other people, and when we hear them say it, oh, okay, now I know I can do that too. The other way that we do it, though, is we just try to use a word and maybe we use it improperly, and somebody will say, that was weird. That's not the way you use that word. So, to be honest, what I think you should do, just try and use a word, and if it doesn't work, then someone will tell you, or you can ask ChatGPT to ask, you ask it, is this the best word to use here, or can I use this word here? Help me understand which words are most appropriate or least appropriate. Okay, that would be a good task to ask ChatGPT. Help me understand which synonyms are most appropriate in context or least appropriate in context. Okay, Ella? Thank you, Mina. Okay. Okay, Bran, I don't know what you're doing here. Why are you here, Bran? Are you here to learn English? If you're not, then I don't know why you're here. In general, I don't like it when anybody calls me bro. I really don't. Okay, yes, if you want to raise your hand and come on stage, you can. What's the difference between suitable and appropriate? Let me think about that for a moment. So, The word suitable will tell you a little bit about this. Let me just check something. Please wait. I'm just reading to make sure I give you a good answer. A set of matching garments, like a uniform. Okay, so the word suitable and appropriate. Appropriate is about uh, is this okay to say in this place? Is this okay to do in this place? Or is this okay to say in this place? All right. So when you talk about appropriateness, you're kind of talking about your behavior and whether it's good or bad in that environment. Okay, so if your behavior is not good in this environment, then your behavior is not appropriate in this environment. Okay, suitable, it has the word suit in it. A suit is a set of clothing, right? And the first suits were actually clothing for workers. So it was like a uniform. It had to look like a uniform, right? So it had to match. Okay, that way you know that's a worker. All right. So that's why the word suitable, when we play cards, right? When we play cards, you have matching suits. They match suits, which means they match, like they are the same. Okay? So if something is suitable, it means it is matching to that thing. Okay? It's matching. If something is appropriate, we're talking about the behavior in that environment. Okay? That's the best I can do, I think, to explain the difference between those. Okay. Please pronounce international. International. No, it's international. Inter means between. National means countries. Okay? All right. Anandita says, I have a question. I understand English, but I can't speak because I feel scared. Okay, so, Anandita, have you ever crossed a bridge before? Have you ever crossed a bridge before? The first time you cross a bridge, I remember when I was a boy and I crossed a bridge and I was like, whoa, this is scary. Like, I don't think I want to go across that. That doesn't look safe. Like, you're a child. You don't understand engineering and physics yet, right? So when you walk out onto this thing that's above, a high river or something, you're like, oh, I don't know if I like this. This doesn't look right. So, but then you go across it and then you realize, oh, well, that worked. That was good. And then you go back and you do it again. And you're like, oh, it does work, right? So, how do you get over your fear of speaking? Cross the bridge. How do you get over your fear of crossing bridges? Cross the bridge. Okay? So, if you are afraid, do that thing that you are afraid of until you're not afraid. Okay? Do the thing that you are afraid of until you're not. Okay? Okay. As a native speaker, what do you choose if you need to say something that is not good enough on Hair in the Soup, or there's one nuance? Oh, Hair in the Soup, that's a pretty good one, but that's not that common anymore. I think that's a little bit older, Rosalind. There's a nuance, and so a hair in the soup implies there's a problem. Like it's a big problem, but it was a problem that was overlooked, right? A nuance is not a problem at all necessarily. It could be a problem, but most likely it's not a problem. It's just a very subtle difference or a subtle thing that you should understand. Very subtle, right? Very small, but important. Okay? So, but you're trying to ask about something that's not good enough? Let me think about that. Let's see. We say that leaves a lot to be desired. Sometimes, like if you give me a paper, like this was your homework, and I say, okay, this leaves a lot to be desired, that means there's not a lot for me to like in this. Okay? Um, this doesn't cut it. This doesn't cut it, is sometimes what we say. Or this doesn't cut the mustard. That's the old way to say it. But now we just say, that didn't cut it. That doesn't cut it. It's not good enough. You didn't cut it. Okay? To not cut it means to not be good enough to make the cut. Did you make the cut is another way we'll say it, which is like when you're going out for like a sports team, like you're in high school and you want to be on the baseball team, so you try out, but you didn't make it. Somebody will ask you, did you make it? Did you make the cut? That means that there are 50 people, but they can't keep 50. They can only keep 20. So they cut 30. So the cut means the chosen people, the ones who were selected, right? That's making the cut. Okay? And you could also say this falls short, or that won't do, or this leaves me wanting for more. Or there's another one we used to say, close but no cigar. Close but no cigar. That's an old idiom that when you used to go to the amusement park, if you go to the amusement park and you play a game, if you win the game, then sometimes a long time ago they used to give you a cigar. You won. Congratulations, here's your cigar, sir. Right? But if you didn't win, you missed, right? So you have to throw a dart, right? And you missed by this much. And he'll say, oh, I'm sorry, sir, close, but no cigar. So that's another way to say, this doesn't quite do it. Close, but no cigar. All right? All right. Mido says, how can I improve my English? I'm B1. I need to reach B2. So, Mido, here's my first question. What are you doing? Everybody asks me this question. How can I go to B1 or B2 or C1 or C2? But what are you doing? Do you have a system of learning? If you don't have a system of learning, then that's why you don't know if you're making progress. You have no system. You're just, I'm going to read a little. I'll read. Oh, I'm learning. I'll write some words. Oh, I'm learning. No, you have no plan. That's not a plan. Practicing 15 minutes a day is not good enough. No way. If I practiced Arabic for 15 minutes a day, how many years would it take me? No, 15 minutes is not enough. There are 24 hours in the day, and you use language for most of those hours. So if you use language for all of your day, then why are you using 15 minutes for practice? Okay? So, 15 minutes is not good enough, guys. You will never make practice, or you'll never make progress. Listen, A long time ago, when I started the drums, I had one private lesson every week for 30 minutes. And my teacher told me that if your lesson is 30 minutes once a week, then that means your practice should be double that every day. So that means that you should be practicing at least 1 hour every day if you have a 30-minute lesson once a week. Now, if you have two 30-minute lessons once a week, now you need to double that again. So that means you should be doing 2 hours every day. If you have 1 hour every week, you should be doing 2 hours of studying every day. All right? And then you say, but how do I do so much studying? That's why you need a plan. If you have a plan, then you know, okay, reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. I need 8 plans. I need 8 different things. So then I need, okay, so reading. How am I practicing my reading? I can practice short stories on this website. I can read this book. I can practice reading these sentences on this app. I can read from here. So in reading, I have 10 different ways to practice reading. In writing, I have 10 different ways to practice writing. In listening, I have 10 different ways to practice listening. Now, imagine if you have 100 ways. If you have 100 ways to practice reading, you will practice a lot. If you have 100 ways to practice writing, you will practice a lot. So when you practice for 15 minutes, it's because you only have one way to practice, so that's all you do. Find more ways to practice, and it's much easier to practice for a long time. Okay? And here's the other thing. If you really want to be good at something, listen to me now. If you are serious about really wanting to be good at English, serious people don't count the minutes. Why? Do you know why? Because serious people don't count the minutes because they're not trying to think about how little they can do. Serious people are always thinking about how much they can do, not how little they can do. So when you ask me, is 15 minutes enough? You are asking how little you can do, not how much you can do. All right? All right, the trip was amazing, but there was one hair in the soup. I had a fever. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. That's not too bad. Yeah, the trip was amazing, but there was one hair in the soup. In the middle of the trip, I got a fever. Yeah, that would be right. You know, it was a great trip, but one big thing happened that was kind of a big problem that kind of ruined everything. I was sick, you know? You know, if you get a great bowl of soup and it's like, wow, this looks delicious and it smells delicious, but you see one hair, you're kind of like, oh, man, oh, no, that's not good. I'll probably just eat the soup, but whatever. Marco, hello, Marco. You're curious about the IPA of Can and Kent. It's probable that's different in the UK because they correct me anytime exaggerating the mood. So I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. So Marco, the American English can't is the The British can't It's more of an aunt. You can't do that. You mustn't. You can't. That's British, but the American is can't. Okay? What books do I recommend if you have an intermediate level of English? Try Charlotte's Web. That's a great book that kids read here in America. It's intermediate level. Um, it's a wonderful story. I actually, a few years ago on Hello Talk, I read that book online for live streams. Um, so that's a pretty good one. Alejandra, what I would say is you can do a search online and look for uh, intermediate English level book lists. There are many, many, many lists of books that you can look for. And then it's easier because you can see, this book is about adventure, this book is about romance, this book is about history. And then you can choose the one that you like, you know? Okay? And Marco, there are some times when people just won't get it, man, and I wouldn't think about it too much. Okay, there are some times when I speak Chinese where I am pronouncing something and I swear I know I'm pronouncing it right, but people look at me like I'm an alien. Like, what are you saying, man? You know, it's kind of funny. Uh, yeah, people who look at their watch are not serious people. That's right. That's my opinion. Yeah, if you're worried about the time, then you're not worried about learning. You're focused on your watch. You know, and I know so many people, you think productivity makes you think that you should be aware of your time and you should focus on, making sure you have a good time schedule. All right, fine. But the truth is that that's not the way it works in learning. That's the way it works in business. Business and learning are not the same. In learning, you should learn for as long as you can or as long as you need to. In business, you have to keep your time limits. But that's not how it works in learning. In learning, you do it until you know it. You don't do it until the time. All right? Where do we use end all be all? That's like the GOAT. The GOAT, right? GOAT, greatest of all time. He's the end all be all of quarterbacks. He's the end all be all of something. It means he's the quintessential, the most amazing, the most perfect example of something. Okay? Oh, what is the difference between responsible with and responsible for? It depends on the context, but if I say you are responsible for something, then those are the duties that you must do. These are the tasks, they're the duties, they're the things that I want you to do. You're responsible for cleaning the room and doing this and blah, blah, blah. You are responsible for that. Those are your duties, okay? You must be responsible with your students. So that's like my boss would be telling me as a teacher, oh, you have to be responsible with your students, right? So in this case, you could say for or with. I need to be responsible for my students means I have to watch over them to make sure they are all okay and safe. I am responsible for them. I am responsible for making sure they stay safe. But when I say I have to be responsible with my students, then that means I have to make sure that my behavior is appropriate with my students. Okay? But there are many, many contexts where the context will matter. Okay? The context will really matter. Is it better to read a hard copy book or an ebook? I still love a real book. I still love holding a real book. There's something different about the feeling of a real book. And because we spend too much time looking at screens We spend too much time looking at screens. That's the other reason why books are great, real books are great, because you need a break from all these screens. Okay? So that's why. All right? So saying either of those are not entirely wrong. I can say I'm responsible for my students, and I can say I'm responsible with my students. Yes, they're both correct. They just have a different meaning, right? I'm responsible for my students means that you are the teacher, and the parents, they expect you to take care of their children, right? The students are their kids, so they expect you to take care of them. That means you are responsible for their well being, their safety, their education. All right? You're responsible for that. But you must be responsible with them when you're with them. So you can't act stupidly when you're with them. That would not be responsible. You're not being responsible with them. You are with them. So when you are with them, you must be responsible. You must act responsibly. Okay? Understand? Oh, man. If you have a question, you should ask me. I see 75 people are in this room. Why aren't you asking me questions? The Art of the Billionaire, writer Donald Trump Jr. Can I explain? Sure. Yeah, let me explain. Anything associated with that family, that's the explanation. How can you be disciplined? How can you be disciplined? Be disciplined. Mina, be honest with yourself. That's how you can be disciplined. Shakespeare, Mina, Shakespeare said, "This above all, to thine own self be true. To thine own self be true. Be true to yourself." That means be true to yourself means you should do the things that are best for you, but it also means be true to yourself means don't lie to yourself. The lies that we tell are always bad, but the lies that we tell ourselves are always the worst. So, how can you be more disciplined? Don't lie to yourself anymore. Okay? What's the difference between barely and almost? Jordy, not much. It depends on the context, Jordy, but in many situations, I could say either one. I could say, let me think of a good example. Wait. So if I say, like, we're traveling, right? If I say, I'm driving 100 kilometers, I'm driving 100 kilometers. If I've only gone 2 kilometers, then I've only gone two. That's barely anything. That's barely any distance. Okay? 2 out of 100. That's not much, right? But almost. That's when your kid in the back of the car, when your kid says, "Are we almost there?" Almost means you're almost completely finished with your distance, right? So barely is like you're traveling from here to here, right? But you've barely gone anywhere. You're barely there, okay? But almost is like you want to go to here and you are here. Oh, we're almost there. Okay? So, So the other way to say it is that almost is about a threshold. So that means like a threshold means like this is the point you're trying to get to. This is the point that you're trying to get to. That's a threshold. Okay. So that's almost. We're almost to this point. Okay. But barely is the threshold is up here, and you've barely gone anything. Okay. Threshold is a very weird word. What are my thoughts about Shawshank Redemption? It's a great movie. I've seen it a million times. This is a great movie. It has a lot of interesting things to think about. There's plenty of good language to learn in there. A lot of good lessons to be considered. What books do I recommend for a beginner to improve your vocabulary? I don't recommend any books. I recommend eslfast.com. This is a great website for beginners for reading. This website is free and it has about 3,000 short stories. It starts for beginner level, but it goes all the way up to advanced level. It goes all the way up to advanced levels. So they have great short stories there. Okay? Okay, next question. How to pronounce hot. 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 Okay, it's very hot outside. What's the difference between next to and beside? Nothing. Nothing. He's standing next to me. He's standing beside me. Those are the same. Okay? Thank you for the gifts, everyone. I appreciate the gifts. Thank you, Abi. I try. I try. Wow. Wow. Those are high praise. That's high praise. Those are I don't know how to feel about that. Thank you, Abi. Those are nice words. Jalen says, I can understand English articles well, but my English listening and writing skills are very poor. How can I improve it properly? Okay. So you said you can read. That's great. How about audiobooks? How about audiobooks, Jalen? Buy an English audiobook and then read the books. You said you can read, so read it and listen. Okay? But also, Jalen, the website that I was just talking about, eslfast.com, that website has a recording that you can listen to. So every short story has a recording also. All right? All right? And then writing. If you want to improve your writing, you must write. So what kind of writing do you want to do? What kind of writing do you need to do? What are your goals? First, you have to determine your goals. What is your purpose? Why do you need to write? And then you can make a plan for learning how to improve your writing. Okay? All right. If you have a question, you can ask it in the chat. You should. If you want to, you can raise your hand and you can come talk to me and ask me on stage. But you have to have a question. Okay? You have to have a question if you want to talk to me on stage. I asked everyone, I will not mention his name. He did not tell me how to pronounce. I especially came to your live to pronounce hot. Huh? Somebody wouldn't help you pronounce that word? That's weird. Seems like a fairly simple thing to do. Hot. I'm drinking coffee. 每天早上我喜欢喝冰咖啡。 It's not very cold anymore, but I barely understood what you said. That's right. I didn't understand much at all. Right? Barely means not much at all, like just a little bit. Okay? I almost understood all of what you said. Correct. You got it. That's it, Jordy. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, I barely understood means I didn't understand most of it. I understood a little. I almost understood all of it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you got it. You pronounced it wrong in the office. Mary, life will go on. The sky is not going to fall because you said hot the wrong way. Don't worry about it. Okay? My listening and comprehension are good, but my speaking isn't. Why is that, and how can I fix it? Ahmed, your speaking is not good because you never speak. But you never speak because you don't have a chance to speak. You don't have the opportunity to speak with people where you live. So then you have to figure out, if you can't practice reading or writing or listening or speaking, then what's the other way to practice language? There is another way to practice language. Not reading, not writing, not listening, and not speaking. Thinking, Ahmed. Thinking, thinking, thinking. If you never think in English, then you can't speak. Because when you need to speak, you're not ready. You're not ready because you have not spent any time thinking in English. Thinking is like, if you're not comfortable here, I don't know how you're supposed to be comfortable here. Right? That is how this works in life. To understand things, first you have to understand inside, then you can do it out. All right? So I live in the United States, but I can practice my Chinese anytime. All I have to do is think in Chinese about anything I'm doing. It's not that hard. It's very difficult in the beginning. In the beginning, it's scary and everybody thinks, oh, this is impossible. But if you keep doing it, then it becomes the best way. Okay? In the beginning, it's difficult. But if you keep doing it, it becomes the best way. All right? If you can think it, then you can say it. But if you can't think it, then how can you say it? All right? It must be comfortable in the mind before it can be comfortable in the mouth. It must be comfortable in the mind before it can be comfortable in the mouth. All right? And I have an article about this. Read this article. I wrote that article. If you want to know how to think in English, then read that article. All right? Okay, let's see. Molly. Molly, are you there?
Hi, I'm there. Yeah,
Hello, Molly. How are you?
good. Thank you. And you?
I'm fine. And you're in China. In what city? Are you in Beijing, Shanghai, or Shenzhen, or where?
Yeah, I'm in Ireland now.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's cool. Where? Dublin?
Now in Menus, you know this place, right?
I know it a little bit. My family, my mother's family, is originally half British, half Irish. So we have heritage in Ireland. So I know it a little
Wow.
bit, but I don't know it that well. I've never been there. I've always wanted to go there, but I've never been.
Yeah, I heard that the relationship between American and Irish is so strong.
It's pretty strong, yeah, because the history. There's a long history there. Um, Ireland,
Mm.
a long time ago, Ireland had something called the potato famine. It was where
Oh,
all the potatoes were like the biggest thing in Ireland. Everybody ate potatoes. It was the main food. And then one particular year, all the potatoes had a disease. So there were no potatoes.
mm.
So then everybody was starving and dying. And so a lot of people, they got on boats to come to America to try to find a better life and to do something else, you know? Um, I mean, there were many reasons why people came. It was not just the potato famine, but there was also better opportunities because in Ireland at that time, there were many almost everybody didn't really own their land. They didn't own it. They just lived on it. Somebody else owned it. That's the landlord. That's why we still have that word, landlord, the lord of the land. Yes, my lord. Thank you.
Landlord. Oh, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's the landlord. And then there's a famous story. Do you know the word boycott? Do you know that word?
I didn't heard it.
Boycott. It's
I don't know.
Boycott. And this word means that you're mad at this company or you're mad at this business because you don't like them. They did something wrong. So now you're not going to buy any of their products because you don't like them. And you tell all your friends, hey, don't buy that. And
Oh,
this word comes from English. Is it English or Irish history? Let me just check really quickly. Hold on. Boycott. I
mm.
can't remember. Boycott. There it is. Irish. Yeah. So it was a British landlord who owned the property, and his name was Charles Boycott, and he was a really bad landlord, and all the people didn't like him. And so, because the people didn't like him, they said, we're not going to buy anything from you. We're not going to rent your properties. Nobody is going to do business with you anymore. And that's where we have the word boycott from. So
Oh, that's so.
to yeah
Mm.
to boycott a business means that oh, we don't like this business because they did something bad, so we're not going to buy their stuff anymore, right? That's the word
Mm.
boycott comes from this story about the Irish and the English landlord.
But yeah, it sounds like a sad story, but it seems really interesting story.
Yeah, it is an interesting story. And see, that's why I tell people that, like, if you find out where a word comes from, sometimes there's an interesting story. And if there's an interesting story, it's so easy to remember that word. You don't have to try to remember it if it's interesting. But when you memorize words, there's nothing interesting about that. So it's so boring. So that your brain doesn't want to remember it because it's so boring. But
Yeah.
if you can find a cool story, then it's like, wow, that was cool. Like, oh, okay, I understand that word now, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I
so,
agree with you.
so Molly,
Yeah.
do you have any questions for me or something I can help you with today?
Um, well, I have the same question with the previous speaker. Like, she said that how could I improve my speaking ability? So yeah, I agree with you totally. Just need to think about it in advance.
Yeah. So Molly, Arling, Arling. Arling 的 no Arling 一流的 Arling 我住在台湾教英文 and but then COVID happened and I came home for a visit and I got stuck in America, so then my life in Taiwan got destroyed, and I got very worried. Oh no, I was learning Chinese. Now I'm back in America. What am I going to do? You know, like my Chinese I'm going to lose my Chinese because how can I practice it here? But then, Molly, I started thinking, I'm a drummer, and
Mm.
musicians, we think music all the time. We think it. We
Oh,
practice in our mind, right? So
mm-hmm.
if I want to practice drums at 3 in the morning, my neighbors will not like that. So I can't. I have to think about it instead. I have to think about the
Yeah.
music, right? So I decided, well, if I can think about music, then why can't I think about language
Mm-hmm.
and practice language that way? So that's what I started doing. Was I just would wake up in the morning and I would just try to think about, okay, 今天我需要做什么? You know, like I have to do what today, or you know, maybe I just look around my world and I say, 这个中文怎么说?这个中文怎么说?这个中文怎么说? And maybe I write it down, right? But the point is that I keep the language alive and I play with it. I play with the language in my head. And there's nobody to hear me, so I don't have to be shy. I don't have to be embarrassed. I don't have to be scared. I can do anything I want up there. And if the grammar is not right, who cares? Who cares? It's not a grammar test. It's not a grammar test, okay? So sometimes when I think in Chinese, maybe my grammar is not quite right. Don't care. Don't care. I'll figure that out later. I'll figure that out later. You can't solve every problem at the same time. So when I'm teaching you to think in English,
Yeah.
my point is not for you to have perfect grammar. My point is for you to feel like the language becomes comfortable living up here so that you can play with it, right? That you're not just memorizing things to say. When you learn a new language, that's what you do. The first thing you do is you just memorize what you're going to say, right? 你好,我是 Mark, right? Like you just memorize the things, but you can't play with it because you're so worried and you don't know it very well, right? But if you live with it all the time and the words are living up here, then you feel like you can play with it more and you're more relaxed. That's really important in language, to be relaxed. So when you say, I can't speak, I get nervous, it's because you're not relaxed. And then you're not relaxed. Why? Because your mind is not ready, because you did not practice thinking. And this is a funny thing. Every language book, if you study any language, they teach you about reading, writing, listening, and speaking. But they never, ever talk about thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so weird. And because they don't talk about thinking, everybody thinks that you're supposed to just translate. Oh, right? I'm just supposed to translate everything, right? Because they didn't tell me anything about thinking. So I guess that means that I'm supposed to just think everything in English and then translate to Chinese before I say it? No. No. You're supposed to think in Chinese. And then if you can think in Chinese, then you can speak it. There's no translation needed, right? So it's like if you go to, for example, Switzerland. In Switzerland, many people speak many languages natively, right? They didn't learn them later. They grew up with many languages,
Yeah.
right? So they might speak French and Italian and Swiss and German, right? Now, when they're speaking German, are they thinking in Italian? No.
Maybe not.
No, when they're speaking German, they're thinking German. When they're speaking Italian, they're thinking Italian. When they're speaking French, they're thinking French. Why would they translate? So that's what a native does. So why should you do anything different? Right? You should do the same thing. You should learn how to think in the language. So I tell everybody that you have to learn 8 parts of language. 8. Reading, writing,
8 parts.
reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Okay? And these 5 are what I call the active parts of learning: reading, writing, listening, speaking, and thinking. And then grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation, those are what I call the passive parts of learning. Because how can you speak well if you didn't study any grammar? How can you write well if you didn't study any vocabulary? How can you speak well or listen well if you don't know any pronunciation, right? So Pronunciation and grammar and vocabulary are the things that you need to study those so that you can use them when you write, read, listen, speak, and think. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. You are such a good teacher. Yeah, I never met before.
Nali nali.
Yeah. Okay. So could I ask you one more question? So do you
Sure.
have your own book? So telling us how to learn English.
I'm writing it now. I've been writing it for a couple of years now. Writing a book is hard.
Wow.
But yes, I'm
Mhm.
working on one right now, and yeah. So some of the things I'm talking about are on my blog. I have a blog. I have a
Okay.
I have a YouTube channel, a website, and a blog. So here, I'm gonna give them to you here. Um, here is
Okay.
here's my YouTube channel, everybody.
YouTube channel.
Every
Um.
like this is on YouTube right now. Okay, every Hello Talk stream I do is streamed on YouTube, right? So you can watch this later if you want to. Okay, then there's also my website, and on my website I have private lessons you can buy from me if you want to take lessons with me. You can, but I also have a lot of resources for studying English. I have found as many of the best resources to study English online for free as I can, and I've put them all in my website, on my website in one place. So you can go to my website and study, study, study. There's so many links there to study English, all for free, okay? And then I also have my blog, and my blog is where I've written my best answers, okay? So I have 3 articles that I usually give, and these, some of these are from my book. Some of these are chapters that will be in my book, right? So there are I want to say I think there are about 10 chapters on my blog from my book that you can read. And they're like my most important concepts about language. So here is one. This is the first one here. It's about how to be fluent in English. Everybody always asks me, how can I be fluent? How can I be fluent? Read that article. Then another one I have is the 8 parts of language. I talked about that before, right? So I call them the 8 pillars of language. And because they're pillars, because it's kind of like a table. When you're learning, you need to have balance with your learning. So,
Yeah.
if your writing is really bad and your reading is great, then your table is like this.
Wow.
So you have to think about a table, like you have to raise the table evenly when you're learning, right? So that's why you need to
Yeah.
know what are the 8 parts. Those are the 8 table legs, and you have to make sure you're balanced. And then you have to think about what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Almost, I would say 85% of students, they focus on the things that they like to do. And that means they're doing the stuff that they're already good at. It's like you're not going to get better because you're just practicing the things that you're already good at. That makes you feel good. You're like, oh, this is so easy. I love this. I'm so good. Right? But then you have to do the hard stuff, the stuff that you're not good at. And you avoid that because it's hard and it makes you feel bad. So this is a problem for students. If you are not willing to feel bad, then you are not willing to make progress. Feeling bad is part
So the
of it.
confidence is so important. Yeah. Sorry to bother you.
No, you're okay. Yeah, that's just part of it, So the 8 pillars of language is about understanding the balance, and then you have to understand that if you want to be good at something, then you have to be willing to focus on the things that are bad, the focus on the things that are hard, the focus on the things that are not easy for you. They're not fun. That's the point. It's hard. They're not fun. Okay? Now, you have to balance that, though, too. If you only do things that are not fun, then you'll hate what you're doing, right? So you have to have some play in there. You have to have some enjoyment in there. And that's why it's so important to have so many ways to learn. If you only have one book, if I say, oh, learn French, here's a book. You know, like
Yeah.
your chances of being successful are very, very low because I only gave you one tool, one book, that's it. But what if I give you 25 different books? They're all great. 25 different apps, all great. 25 different live streams and voice rooms. And if you have many, 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 many resources to study from, and they're all great resources, then you'll practice a lot more because you have a lot more
Yeah.
to practice, and you'll stay more interested because you're not just doing okay page 1, okay page 2, okay page 3, you know, like
Yeah.
that gets boring. You have to keep it interesting by making it varied, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then there's one more article I want to give you. Which one is it? I gotta remember. The final article I'm going to give you is this one. Vocabulary. People ask me all the time how to learn vocabulary, and this article is my answer about the best ways to learn vocabulary. And one of them is
Oh, that's so.
the way we just talked about. It's called etymology. Etymology is the history of words and where they come from and how they've changed over time. And etymology is one of my hobbies. I've been studying it since 1989.
Excuse me, teacher. I really enjoy talking with you and listen to your lessons. But I'm new in this app, so
Oh,
I
no
didn't
problem.
top up for my
That's
account.
okay. No
Yeah,
problem.
so my time is limited. And maybe, yeah, I need to. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
It's nice to
Bye.
meet you. Bye-bye, Molly. Okay. You're watching me and YouTube at the same time. How to do it? So Barry, yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, you should see the live. There's a live that should be going now. You can join that. Okay? It's right here. That's my YouTube. All right? Thank you very much. Thank you. 谢谢. Okay, now I have been here for 1 hour and 45 minutes, and I'm almost finished with my coffee, so that means I'm almost done here. So if you have questions, you should ask me, because I won't be here much longer. Oh, and look, I said Swiss. Yeah, but really? I thought it was a dialect. No? Okay, I guess I'm wrong. See? I'm not such a genius. Swiss German. I guess that's what I was kind of thinking, was Swiss German. Okay. But now I know I shouldn't say the language of Swiss. All right. Fair enough. Oh, there's today's live. Thank you, Alyssa. How can you improve your accent? You have to improve your pronunciation, and that means you must practice how to pronounce the letters. A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, B-B-B, B-B-B, C-C-C, K-K-K, D-D-D, Da-Da-Da, E-E-E, right? F-F-F, G-G-G, G-G-G, right? You have to practice each sound. Every language has mouth movements. You must learn the mouth movements. Okay? You must learn the mouth movements. Rodrigo says, I shouldn't worry about the time. I don't, Rodrigo. That's the problem, is like somebody else has to tell me, hey, you've been doing this for too long. Like, I only look at the time because somebody tells me you've been on too long today. And if I don't look at the time, then I will forget to eat. I will forget to sleep. I will forget to live. Okay, let's talk to Marco. Oh, man. Hello, Marco.
Hi, teacher.
How are you?
Hello. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you for your answer. I just asked you like what's the difference between suitable and appropriate, right?
Mm.
So thank you. I really appreciate. And I have another question just because someone asked you like how can I improve my English from B1 to B2, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just wondering, do you know any website there's have some list for the vocabulary? Maybe like these are the A1 vocabulary, or these are
Yes.
A2.
So on my website, I'm going to give you my website first. This is my website, okay? And 可是我感觉很多中国人他们需要用梯子 okay?
Oh, okay.
But 一些人不需要 so I don't know. I don't know why. Some Chinese people can use my site, no problem. Some can't. I don't know why. So you might need a
Maybe
VPN.
just because they live in the different places.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. But I don't understand why. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why can you see my site, but you can't? I don't understand. So let me show you my site here. It's here. And if you go to my site, if you go up here to resources, click on resources, and then you'll come to here, okay? Teacher Mark's Top English Resources. Then go down and go to vocabulary. Okay, and look, thesaurus.com. Do you know what that is? What is what's a thesaurus?
I don't know.
So
It's new word for me.
a thesaurus is like a dictionary, everybody. But let me show
Dictionary.
you. Let me show you a
Okay.
thesaurus. This is a thesaurus. So let's type in a word. Like, let's type in the word sad. Everybody knows that word.
Yes.
But now you can go look to see, oh, look, but you can also say, I'm depressed, I'm heartbroken, I have melancholy, I am mournful, I'm pessimistic, I'm somber, I'm sorrowful, I'm sorry, I'm unhappy. All of these are words that are related to the word sad. Now, do they mean exactly the same thing as sad? No, they're like family. Right? Some are twins, some are big brother and big sister, big little brother, little sister, some are fathers and mothers, some are cousins and aunts, right? So that means that some are related directly and they mean the same thing, you know, but some are a little different, right? If I say I feel depressed, that's not really the same as I feel sad, right? We know that. Depressed
Yes.
is stronger, right?
Stronger. Yes.
Yeah,
I know.
that's right. Yeah. So this is a good way to explore vocabulary. A thesaurus is a book of synonyms, right? So a dictionary is a book of the meaning, right? And this website, thesaurus.com, this is actually one website is both a dictionary. So here's the dictionary, but you can also click here for the synonyms. Okay, so it's an app. I have this on my phone as an app, dictionary.com, and it's also the thesaurus. So this is the number one way that I look up words, is on this. Okay, and also let's go back to my website here. Okay, let's scroll down. This is called etymonline.com. This is an online free etymology dictionary. So this is not for beginners. This is more for intermediate advanced learners, all right? Because this is like, where does this word come from? And what did it mean originally? And how has it changed over time? And sometimes that can really help you because sometimes the words have really cool stories. It makes it so easy to remember the meaning, right? And also sometimes if you know where the word comes from, it can help you understand why they spell it that way or why they pronounce it that way. Right? Because English words come from many languages. If you guys didn't know that, 60% of English words come from Latin or Greek. 30% about come from French, 20% about come from German. And some people say, but that doesn't add up to 100%. That's because there's overlap. Like French and Latin are related languages. So it's kind of hard to say exactly how many words come from French and how many come from Latin because they're both related. So, but we also have words from Hindi, we have words from Arabic, we have words from Persian, we have words from Chinese, we have words from Japanese, we have words from many languages. Why do Americans say long time no see? How Joe Bujian?
From maybe from Chinese.
Yeah. In the right around 1900, the year 1900, there were a lot of sailors doing trade in Southeast Asia on boats. And they would come to the port and they would come onto the dock and they would trade with the people on the dock. And so they would say, oh, long time no see. And they would say, oh, 我要看看. I want to have a look-see. Can I have a look-see? In English, we say, can I have a look-see? And that's weird. Why do we say look-see? It's called Pidgin English. It's Chinese that was translated to English. So there are a bunch of those that happened, a bunch of phrases that were learned by the sailors that were doing trade with Southeast Chinese people. The word ketchup,
Yeah.
Hot dog ketchup, right? That's a Chinese word. It comes from Southeast Asia, same thing. The sailors were there, and the sailors would eat when they were there, and whenever they were eating, they would hear them using the word catsup, 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 and it meant fish sauce. A long time ago, it was an Amoy language. It's before Chinese. It's a related language to Chinese in Southeast Asia, and the word catsup, it just meant like a fish sauce. Right? It was just a fish sauce. Everywhere in Southeast Asia, they have fish sauce, right?
It sounds like a verb. Catch up, I mean.
It's not Chinese. It's from Cantonese Amoy, so it's not related to Mandarin directly. It's related to another Southeast Asian language from a long time ago.
So the pronunciation is like the dialect.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's what happened. Is they were Westerners and they can't pronounce it well, so then they messed up the pronunciation, right? So they heard the Chinese, but they couldn't say it right. So ketchup, which became ketchup. Okay, and what they did is they went back to England, and around that same time period, somebody created this new sauce, and the sauce flavor is not at all related to China. The sauce flavor completely is from England and from the West, but the name of the sauce, they said, oh well. They thought the word just means it's a sauce. Oh, it's a sauce. Okay, so we're just going to call it that. So we'll call it ketchup. So like I said, that's interesting. Oh, look, that's crazy. The word ketchup, we use it on hot dogs. That's American. That's American to eat a hot dog with ketchup. But that's a Chinese word. That's cool to me. That's really interesting to find out, right? So that's etymology. A lot of words come from interesting places. They have interesting stories. It can make it easier to learn. Now we go down here. There's another etymology one here. But here, look at this one. Landgeek vocabulary by topic. So this one has all these different topics like animals, appearance, colors, shapes, body, clothes, fashion, linguistics, cinema, arts, crafts, right? So let's just click on one and see, colors and shapes. Okay, so shades of black. Let's try.
Sorry, teacher. My screen it seems like it stopped. Or
oh yeah, that happens sometimes. Let me try again. I don't know why HelloTalk has a problem with screen share sometimes.
Okay.
So here we go. Here's black, right? So we have black.
Yeah.
Ebony. Oh, that's not black. It's a little bit like black, but not black. Licorice. There's another one. Onyx. There's another one. Café Noir. Right? And why is it Café Noir? That's French. Cafe, French, noir means black in French. Or dark. Is it black or dark? I can't remember. It's something like that. Okay, so again, this is a great website that you can go to learn vocabulary, in topics. Okay? Not exactly what you were asking about, but close to what you were asking about. And then there's also this one here. So this is a free resources for vocabulary instruction, right? So this is vocabulary through word families. This is also etymology, right? So for example, how many words can you think of that have the letters R-E in the beginning? R-E. Re. How many English words can you think of that have R-E?
Like reply or how can I say?
Yeah, reply. Anybody else? Come on, let's give some words. R-E words. Redact, redeem, redolent, redundant, render, receive, recommend, recover, reduce, recreate, refer, remain,
That's a lot.
request. There are 600.
Oh my God.
So that is a very useful trick because it means there are 600 words that have that one root in there, right?
Okay.
So it's a much more efficient way to learn vocabulary. Now, are all 600 of those words useful or common? No, of course not.
No.
Many will not be, but many will be. You'll be like, oh, wow, yeah, okay, many, many words. These are great, right? And it makes you think about the vocabulary differently because you're trying to connect the words that are related by this one root, right? Just like the word co in English, co means together or with. So co-pilot. He's the pilot that's with the pilot, right? So he's the one who helps the pilot, right? Cooperate, to operate together. Co-worker, that's the person you work with.
Co-worker, I know that.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, co means together or with, right? So those are the words that come from Latin or Greek. Almost all the words that come from Latin or Greek, they have these wonderful little root words in there, and they are a very efficient way to learn vocabulary. Okay. But there is also another list called Fry's sight word list. Let me find that for you. I think this is what you are looking for. These are the most common words that are seen in the English language. Okay?
Yeah, I'm just wondering which one is more useful, or you guys use it more often, right? Or some words we don't use it very often, so maybe
That's exactly
I can
right.
choose.
Yeah, that's
which
exactly
one I
right.
should learn first.
Yeah, well, I would say all of the words in the Fry's list are absolutely words you need to learn because these are the most common words, right? These are words like the, of, and, a, to, in, right? For, but, we, there, use, an, each, which, she, do, right? These are common words, right? So you need to know them, right? This, let me find the best website for it. Hold on. I think this one maybe. Nope. Wait. Yeah, here it is. Look at this. Here's this website. I'm going to put it here in the chat. Hold on. Oh, get rid of this. Okay, so look, Fry's first 100 words, right? So these are the first most common 100 words in the English language.
Oh.
All right? But they're not in any kind of a pattern. You know what I mean? Like they're not ordered in any way. These are just by commonality. Like how common are they? That's it. Okay? And they have a list here of all of them. Here's the second 100, the third 100, the fourth 100. Okay, so this is a pretty good way to see what are the most important words in English, right? These are the 10 lists, and each list is 100 words. So there's 1,000 words there, right? So that's a pretty good way to learn the most important words that are in the English language. All right,
Yes,
the Fry's
exactly.
words list. All right.
Hmm.
All right. Any other questions for me, Marco?
No.
Oh,
I think
okay.
tonight it's okay. Yeah,
Okay, good. All right,
it's
great.
enough.
All right,
Thank
well,
you.
you did wonderfully, and come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Okay, okay.
All right,
Yeah,
bye
thank
bye.
you. Bye.
Ooh, okay, guys, I have been here for 2 hours. 2 hours. Uh, and yes, Italian is related to Latin. Yes, so there are a bunch of languages that are called Romance languages because they come from the Roman Empire. So that's French and Spanish and Italian and Romanian and Portuguese, and yeah, all of those are Italian. Those are all Romance languages. Teacher, read up. Yes, I see people want to join. I know, but I expect people to pay attention to what I'm doing. Usually, when people come say, talk to me, I don't talk to them because they're not listening to what I'm doing yet. If they listen to me first, then maybe I will talk to them. Let's talk to Andrea. Andrea, do you want to talk to me before I finish my coffee? No. Okay. Mirsad, if you want to ask me a question, you can raise your hand. Mirsad, but you have to raise your hand. I don't see you raising your hand. And you have to have a question. You have to have a question. You have to raise your hand. Okay? Oh, man. It's almost gone, guys. Come on. Your time is running out. The topic is everything and anything and nothing. Hello, Anderson. You're a native English speaker, but you cannot teach really well. All right. That's normal. Most natives can't teach very well. They certainly can't teach English. Am I a Texan? No, I am not a Texan. I'm from Ohio. I'm from Earth. Aren't you? Last I checked, I think we're all from Earth. You're from the moon? Yeah. 我是外星人. Your mom is Spanish, but your dad's from Santa Monica. All right. What kind of tip will I give you to enhance your listening skills? I would say that you need to make sure you are listening to the right people. That's the biggest mistake people make with listening. If you listen to somebody, the biggest problem that I see is the people that you are listening to are people who sound cool, but they are not people who sound good. You're making a big mistake. You're choosing the wrong people to listen to because you're choosing the cool guy. Don't choose the cool guy. Choose the one who speaks well. If you are trying to learn how to speak well, then find people who speak well, not people who speak cool. All right? This is not about being cool. This is about being good. It's about knowing the language. So, don't listen to just some guy on YouTube. Don't listen to just some person on TikTok. Find somebody who cares about their language. It's obvious. It's obvious. You can tell. When someone speaks well, it's clear. Okay? Find someone who speaks well. Listen to them. All right? Thank you, Rodrigo. What I say is so clear and understandable. Do I purposely choose those easy words? Molly, yes. I'm a teacher. So as a teacher, I'm an English teacher. So that means I try to speak well all the time when I'm teaching. I try to pronounce every word clearly, and I try to use words that are easily understood. Okay? Teaching English is a very interesting job because you realize, you think about like, oh, wait a minute. They don't know that. They don't know this word. They don't know that word. They don't know this thing. They don't know these things. So once you get rid of all the things that they don't know, then you're left with simple speech that's clear. Okay? And I used to teach kids. When you teach kids who can't speak English, you have to be clear. You have to be simple. You have to be exciting. All right? I try to enunciate every word. Every word I try to enunciate. All right? Why do I use one word in two situations when you mean something for two people and when you tell us? Huh? Dima, I'm not sure if I understand your question. When you tell about popular words, is it a popular situation or we can change this word for other situations? I'm not sure if I understand your question, Dima. I think you're trying to ask, how do you know which word to use? Is that what you're trying to ask? When you could use one word or the other word? You want more attention, Rodrigo. All right. Hello, Pung Pung. How about in my daily life? Do you mean how do I speak in my daily life? I speak like this anytime I want someone to listen to me. But if I'm just hanging out with my friends, no. This is teacher mode. This is teacher mode. I'm teacher Mark right now, but when this camera turns off, I'm just Mark, and just Mark is not quite the same. All right? I understand what discrepancy means, which is I don't agree with something. No, discrepancy isn't that you don't agree. A discrepancy means that there's a problem or something that's not what you expected it to be, right? So if I gave you an assignment and you turned in your assignment and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, oh, well, there's a discrepancy with your assignment. I told you it should be in MLA format, but you did AMA format or APA, right? So a discrepancy means something that I was expecting to be one way, but it's not. So there's a problem or an issue or something. So the word discrepancy, I want to look at this word. Discrepancy comes from the Latin word discrepentem, which discrepare, which means to sound differently or to differ. Yeah. So a discrepancy means it was supposed to be this way, but it's not exactly that way. There is a discrepancy. Okay? Yeah, right. It's like a discrepancy means that you were expecting something to be one way, but this is not quite what I was expecting. And it could be a problem or it could just be something that we need to look at. That's not what we talked about. That's it. Okay, so it could be a problem. Maybe it's something that you didn't agree to, right? Something different that you didn't agree to. But maybe it's not a problem. Maybe it's just something that they did differently, and now you need to talk about it so you understand what they did, right? It's a discrepancy, okay? I want to see something. Let's see. Yeah, so the word discrepant itself means two or more things where they are not consistent or not agreeing or they're differing, right? So, for example, if somebody robbed the store, they stole money from the store, and there are two witnesses. Two people saw them steal the money, but they have two different stories. The stories are different. One guy says that there was only one person, but the other guy says there were three people. That's a discrepancy. Understand? So you were expecting the stories to be the same because they're both witnesses to the same thing, but their stories are not the same. So that means there is a discrepancy between them. Okay? Yes, it means there's something that's inconsistent with another thing. That's right. Yeah, it's not as expected. Correct. Right. Okay? That's right, a discrepancy in the research data, which means you were expecting the data to say this, but it didn't. So now you have to see what's the discrepancy, what happened that made this data say something else. Okay? It means a slight difference that was not expected. That's the best way to say it right there. A slight difference that was not expected. You know, sometimes you ask me a question and I have like a 10-minute answer, and then right at the end I come up with the 5 words that I could have said that are much better. Like I only needed to say 5 words. Yeah, anyway. That's teaching. Sometimes you have to take the long way to get to the short road. Sometimes you have to take the long way to get to the shortcut. How can you improve your grammar? Use this grammar book. There are two ways I'll recommend that you improve your grammar. One is with this book here. This book is free, and this book is online, and this is my favorite book for grammar. Go to that book and use that book. But also, there is a wonderful website called gamestolearnenglish.com. Can you see the link? I just put 2 links there, Molly. That first link is WordPress. That's the book. Okay, you can open that up and download it. And then the second one is the website gamestolearnenglish.com. That's free. And it has a lot of games to practice English. But there's games about idioms and adjectives and verbs and adverbs and prepositions and past tense and body parts and jobs and clothes and phrasal verbs and comparison, food, perfect tense, time. There's so many games, and they're all free. All right? All right. Yes, I also think a thesaurus is a must-have. Am I only here for teaching English, or you can ask me anything, but I won't necessarily answer. You can ask me whatever you want, but maybe I will choose not to answer. How can you speak confidently despite not being fluent? You can't. Confidence comes when you know something. If you don't know something, you can't fake confidence. That's called false bravado, false confidence. No, you can't do that. No, to be confident, you have to know something. All right? Spend time with it and you will know it, and then you'll be confident. All right? So I'm here for teaching English only overall. Yeah, I'm an English teacher. That's my job. 88,000 people follow me here for learning English, mostly. But they do ask me other questions sometimes. And sometimes I have an answer. I don't know everything, and I am no expert, but maybe you'll be interested in my idea. Maybe you won't. But that's it. All right? I didn't say you were criticizing. I'm just trying to explain. Yeah, that's it. I'm usually here to answer English questions, but people have asked me everything from relationship questions and marriage questions and questions about raising children and questions about traveling and culture and all kinds of things, history, philosophy. People ask me all kinds of stuff, but I'm really only qualified to answer questions about grammar. And even that, I make mistakes with that too. So, you can ask whatever you want to ask, and if I feel I can give an answer that's worth hearing, then I will. But there are some times when somebody asks me something, and I say, I have no idea. I don't know about that, so I cannot tell you about that. I am not afraid to say the words, I don't know. How to find a boyfriend. It's not as hard as you think. If you want to find somebody, if you want someone to be interested in you, then you must make yourself interesting. That is the problem. Many people say, oh, nobody's interested in me. Nobody's interested in me. But you didn't ask yourself, are you interesting? Are you interesting? Maybe you are not interesting. Why does a bee go to a flower? Why this flower and not that flower? This flower is more interesting than that flower. Make yourself interesting and people will be interested. Okay? So instead of trying to look for somebody else and try to say, I want to spend my time finding someone, no, spend your time finding yourself and developing yourself and making yourself into a better flower. And if you make yourself into a better flower, more bees will come. Okay? How can I use the vocabulary you have learned in a sentence at the right time and in the correct way? Practice, practice, practice. That's it. There is no other way. You must live the language. If you never jump in the water, then you'll never be comfortable in the water. So how can you be comfortable with the vocabulary? The vocabulary is the water. Get in the water. Spend time in the water. If you spend time in the water, you feel good. You feel comfortable with that water. You can use that water. You can use that vocabulary. Okay? What's the difference between a fact and actually? Fact is a very interesting word. The word fact actually comes from Latin, and it just means, well, let me pull it up here. Hold on. Let's see here. So the word fact comes from the Latin word factum, and that means something that happened, an event. Okay, so an event, a fact, it happened. It really did happen. So that's where the word fact comes from. The word actually is a word that we often use at the beginning of a sentence. Right? Like when you want to correct someone. If someone says, this word means this, blah, 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 and maybe it's not quite right. So you say, well, actually, it doesn't mean that. It means this. So let's look, where does the word actual come from? Actual comes from Latin actualis, meaning pertaining to action. So, one moment. So, if something is actual, then it is a fact. Okay? Actual things are facts. But the word actually has the ly at the end. Ly is usually an adverb, right? So in this case, the word actually is used like you're saying, in fact, right? So in many cases, in fact and actually mean the same thing, okay? They just mean you're almost right. You're almost right, okay? To highlight some sort of a truth. In fact, blah, blah, blah. Actually, blah, blah, blah. Same thing, okay? Okay, next question. What do I think is the most important thing when practicing English pronunciation and intonation? Exaggerate. Exaggerate and go slow, Ki-Yun. When you're practicing pronunciation is a movement. It's a body movement. To learn body movements well, you must do them slowly, you must exaggerate them, and you must repeat them a lot. Okay, so everything that I do on drums is about this. It's about exaggerating the motion and repeating it a lot. Okay, those are the things you have to do. Is emotional modulation of vocals necessary to communicate with languages other than the native language? I think I know what you mean. Do you still need to speak emotionally when you change to another language? Of course you do. Of course you do. Yeah. When you speak a second language, you don't lose emotion. Now, there are some languages that favor emotion more and favor emotion less, right? So there are certain languages like German. You know, German seems to be a little bit more of a what's the right word? There's a certain seriousness to the sound of German, right? But on the other hand, some languages sound a lot more playful. The way they sound, the emotional, well, not the emotional, just the tonality of it. Okay? What should I do if I forget words while speaking English in front of others? It happens to everyone, Maria. It happens to me all the time. Don't worry about it. That's life. You're going to forget words sometimes. That's okay. You'll remember the next time. Keep trying. Okay? What do you do when you fall for your own lies? Well, that's why I always tell everybody here, man. I live by two very simple rules in my life. One is the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the second rule is from Shakespeare. This above all, to thine own self be true. And what that means is be true to yourself, which has a couple of meanings. One is be true to yourself means you do you. You should do what you feel you are best at. You should do what's best for you. Okay? That's one meaning. But there's a second meaning about to thine own self be true. And it means that the lies we tell are always bad, but the lies we tell ourselves are the worst ones. The lies we tell ourselves are the worst lies, right? So this above all, to thine own self be true. Don't lie to yourself. If I don't want to sound bookish in English, what do I think? How do you know you sound bookish, Dan? How do you know? Maybe you don't sound bookish. Who told you you sound bookish? And by the way, there are worse things. I would rather you sound bookish than sound like you're trying to be too native. You know, there are so many people who try to sound like the guy on YouTube, and they use all the words like, hey, bro, and hey, dude, and what's up, guys? And, you know, like they're trying to sound all cool. I think that's way worse. I'm sorry, but there are some people who the actions they do because they're desperate for confidence. They have no confidence. So they do things to try to make people think they're confident. It's like acting, right? So when you learn a language, you learn to be cool because you're worried about being cool. When you do anything, you're trying to do it and be cool because you're worried about being cool. But I'm trying to tell you, the funny thing about being cool is when you try to be cool, you're not cool. You can't try to be cool. Being cool is about being yourself. When you try, you're not being yourself anymore. All right? Okay, guys, guess what? I'm a bit tired. I have been here for 2 hours and 32 minutes, and my coffee is gone. So I need to go have some lunch. It is 12:30. Before I go, please make sure you do go to my YouTube channel, sign up for my YouTube channel. Here is my website, and here is my blog. Okay? Every Hello Talk stream I do is on YouTube at the same time. Okay? So you can go watch my YouTube if you want to when you need to. My website, you can buy private lessons from me on my website, and you can also find resources to study English on my website. And my blog is where I have my best answers. Okay, so if you want answers about how to learn vocabulary and how to be fluent and, that kind of thing, read my blog. Okay, I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years. I have been live streaming here for more than 5 years. I have been teaching English since 2009, and I have been teaching since 1994. I have about 88,000 followers on Hello Talk, and I am here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the morning. So I don't know what time that is for you. You need to figure that out. My time zone is the same as New York City. Okay, New York City time. So in New York City, when it's morning, 9:30, 10:30 in the morning, somewhere around that time, that's usually when I start my stream. Okay? More than 1 million people have watched me here, and about 88,000 have followed. So come back and see me again sometime. I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question. I can't answer all of them. I try, but I can't get them all. All right. So have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, and come back and see me again tomorrow. Okay? Bye.